Welcome into Bob Suter's Capital Ice Arena for another version of Capitals hockey here on Caps Radio on YouTube. And on the pregame show brought to you by Floor & Decor, come explore our unmatched selection of high-quality products, all at everyday low prices, and see how easy creating the space to match your taste can be. Discover your new Floor & Decor, now open in Monona and online at flooranddecor.com. Coming up in pregame show, we'll have a whole bunch for you, including some news and notes from around the league, some score updates from last weekend, as well as a look at your standings here in the Eastern Conference. We'll take a look at your lineups, your starters, presented by Bergstrom Auto, and it's all leading up to puck drop at 6:05 here at Bob Suter's Capital Ice Arena. But before we get into that, here's what's on tap this week. Hey Caps fans, welcome into another edition of What's on Tap, a special Wednesday night hockey night here in Middleton as the Capitals are set to face off against the Green Bay Gamblers for the 7th time this season. The Capitals enter tonight's matchup on a 4-game win streak, tied for the longest of the season. And that first 4-game win streak, you have to go all the way back to the beginning of the season when the Capitals started off 2-0 at the USHL Fall Classic, and then a pair of wins against Chicago and Lincoln on the road. So the Capitals enter tonight with that 4-game win streak, and they hope to continue it against the Gamblers in a nice weekend of hockey ahead, as well as they host Sioux Falls on both Friday and Saturday night. A USHL debut is in the books tonight. John Stout, dressing for the Capitals, called up off of the affiliate list to play the rest of the season with this Madison squad, and they'll rely on him heavily tonight. A left-shot defenseman entering the lineup. He'll be paired up with Sean Ramsey on the third pair here this evening. It'll be Carson Musser in goal tonight for the Capitals, but last Saturday night, it was Patrick Berzinch with the first shutout of the season for the Capitals. You have to go back all the way to April 16th, 2022 for the last Capitals shutout. It was Simon Latkozy in that one. It was Patrice Berzinch shutting out the U.S. NTDP U18 squad on Saturday night. Capitals come away with a 5-0 victory. Brnovic picked up 4 goals on the weekend, so another key there, as he's just a couple of points away from breaking Luke Mittelstadt's point record for a season, as well as another record watch. Kuzma just 2 goals away from the all-time career goals record in Tier 1 history for the Madison Capitals as well. A whole bunch in store tonight. Mitten toss in the second intermission. Same time as Chuck Bucks. At the same time you're throwing the pucks on the ice, trying to get prizes from all of our great sponsors. We want you to throw your mittens out there at the same time as you throw those Chuck Bucks. Mitten toss, of course, brought to you by Alliant Energy. This game, part of a postponed game back on January 12th, moved to this Wednesday night. Puck drop is right around the corner here at Capital Ice Arena, so make sure that you're in your seats as the Caps are about to come out onto the ice here in just a couple of minutes. One last thing before we go. Go Caps, go. Welcome back into the broadcast booth here at Bob Suter's Capital Ice Arena. Capitals and Gamblers going at it for the 7th time this season. And the Capitals coming in red hot, come in with a record of 22-19, 4-2 on the season, and a 4-game winning streak. To their credit, last weekend the Capitals traveled to Michigan for a pair of games. They faced off against Muskegon, the Lumberjacks, on Friday night, a 4-3 victory over the Lumberjacks, and it was a very close game down the stretch of that game as the Capitals had a 4-1 lead, but Muskegon inched back again and had to stop them on the goal line as time expired on Friday night. Then on Saturday, the Capitals traveled to Plymouth to face off against the U.S. NTDP U18s, and it was all Patrick Berzinch in goal. A 5-0 win for the Capitals. Berzinch picks up the first shutout in almost 2 years to the day for the Capitals. Simon Latkozy, the goaltender, back on April 16th for the Capitals, able to stop Cedar Rapids that night, but it was almost 2 years between shutouts for the Capitals. Patrick Berzinch named goaltender of the week for his actions, as well as the Capitals went on to a 5-0 victory over the U.S. National Team Development Program U18s. The U18s faced off against this Gambler squad the next day. It was an 8-4 victory over the Gamblers for the 18s, as Cole Eiserman had a hat trick in that game. The Capitals may have woke the U.S. NTDP team up, and you just have to hope the U.S. NTDP team did not wake this Gambler squad up, as the two teams will face off here this evening, the Capitals and Gamblers. The Gamblers come in with a record this season of 27-12-5-2. On the road, though, they're even better than that, 17-4-2-0. So the point percentage much higher on the road than it is up at the Resch Center for the Gamblers here this season, as the Gamblers come in with that record. They do have a couple of players out, though, this evening. Libor Nemec out due to suspension. The UMass Lowell commit 2 games for cross-checking. The same thing on the other side. The Capitals are missing Jack Brandt due to removing the helmet suspension. 1 game. He'll be back on Friday as the Capitals face off against Sioux Falls. And if you're looking to come out to a Capitals game Friday night, the Capitals host the Sioux Falls Stampede. Tickets are extremely limited there for Friday night. It's a $1 beer night presented by Coors Light, so you can understand why. Then on Saturday, it's Scout Night as well as Stick to Reading Night here presented by Lake Ridge Bank. So it should be a great weekend here as the Capitals welcome in the Sioux Falls Stampede. They were 0-8 in their last 8 leading into last weekend, but then it was a sweep for the Stampede over the Fargo Force. So they're now 2-7, 1-0 in their last 10 games. So a big weekend for the Capitals, but it all starts here on a Wednesday night here in Madison, and it's a debut for John Stout, added to the roster, or rather an affiliate call-up for the Capitals with an unlimited number of games he can play throughout the rest of the season. The Minnesota Duluth commit comes from Minnetonka, Minnesota. Their high school hockey season, they went undefeated in the regular season. Stout led defenseman in scoring on that Minnetonka team. He'll be on the third pair with Sean Ramsey. We'll get into that lineup when we return. It's Capitals Hockey Live on Caps Radio on YouTube. It home. Steele scores!
Imagine yourself in a new Toyota.
Yeah.
Sick.
Whoa.
Oh, yeah.
Right now, get 3.99% APR for 60 months, plus $1,000 cash back on Tundra Hybrid when you finance through Toyota Financial Services.
Ready, set, go get your Toyota today.
Toyota, let's go places.
Welcome back into the broadcast booth here at Bob Suter's Capital Ice Arena. The Capitals facing off against Green Bay here this evening. The Green Bay Gamblers come in with 61 points to their credit in second place in the Eastern Conference as the Capitals have a big one here this evening. The Capitals in fifth place, 9 points back of fourth place, and fourth place in the Eastern Conference would mean a home playoff series to start things that first weekend after the regular season concludes on the 12th and 13th of April. Let's take a look at tonight's lineups presented by our friends at Bergstrom Auto. Up front for the Gamblers, it's Lutz, Shagabe, and Carcone. On the first line, Humphrey, D'Angelo, and Poitras. on line 2. Katzen, Russell, and Beshin on line 3. Danilov, Hughes, and Dewar on the 4th line. Tanner Brender, the extra forward tonight for the Gamblers. On the back end, it's Galucci and Player on pair 1. They'll get the start tonight for Green Bay. Peterson and Romaine on pair 2. Larson and Harrington, who's making his USHL debut this evening, on pair 3. Luke Baker, the Michigan State commit, the extra defenseman for the Green Bay Gamblers here this evening. In between the pipes for Green Bay is Gavin Moffitt, an 8-4, 2-0 record to his name, a .306 goals against average, and an .899 save percentage to his credit. Green Bay is led by head coach and general manager Mike Leone in his second season after serving as the national team program's assistant coach on the U17 side. Now for your Madison Capitals up front, Hong, Rullers, and Bernovic on line 1, Delaney, Kuzma, and Nagel on line 2, Lamb, Rice, and Johnson on the 3rd line, Long, Capel, and O'Donnell on the 4th line for the Capitals this evening. On the back end, it's Michaud and Elias, Jamison and Toby on pair 2, John Stout in his Capitals debut with Ramsey on the 3rd pair, and Noah Barlagi on the extra defenseman for the Capitals. Carson Musser gets the start for Madison. 26th game of the season, 12-9, 2-2 record, a .274 goals against, and a .902 save percentage to his name. The Capitals are led by head coach and general manager in his first season with the team, Andy Brent, after serving as an assistant coach at the University of Wisconsin. Starting lineups for tonight's game: Long, Capel, O'Donnell, Stout, Elias, and Musser for the Capitals. And for Green Bay, it's Danilov, Hughes, and Dewar, Galucci, Player, and Gavin Moffitt for the Gamblers here this evening. We'll have your keys to your game and the picks to click coming up after this. It's all leading up to the 6:05 puck drop here at Cap Ice. You're listening to the Capitals Radio Network on Caps Radio on YouTube.
Imagine yourself in a new Toyota.
Yeah.
Sick.
Whoa.
Oh, yeah.
Right now, get 3.99% APR for 60 months, plus $1,000 cash back on Tundra Hybrid when you finance through Toyota Financial Services.
Ready, set, go get your Toyota today.
Toyota, let's go places.
Back here at Bob Suter's Capital Ice Arena, it's time to take a look at your keys to the game, brought to you by Floor & Decor. Come explore our unmatched selection of high-quality products, all at everyday low prices, and see how easy creating the space to match your taste can be. Discover your new Floor & Decor, now open in Monona and online at flooranddecor.com. Keys to the game, it's going to be special teams. Green Bay has had an edge in the first 6 matchups between these two sides in special teams. 5 for 20 on the power play, while the Capitals 2 for 23. The Capitals are able to flip that around, especially as of late. The Capitals have been very good on the man advantage. You have to continue that here this evening, and Green Bay's penalty kill not great over the past couple of games. Only 44% last weekend against Chicago and the national team program combined. I believe a 4 for 9 on that side was the PK for Green Bay. So really big key to the game is that special teams tonight. Pick to click. I was asking the people in the front office who they thought. Noah Barlagi's name came up, so Noah Barlagi is our pick to click, thanks to MadCapsHockey.com. MadCapsHockey.com, your one-stop shop for all things Capitals here this season. Puck drop coming up in just about 5 minutes. Thanks for joining us on the pregame show here on Caps Radio on YouTube, as we'll be back with Flow Hockey and Caps Radio following this.
salute to the flag as we honor America and all who defend her with the singing of the national anthem performed this evening by the Lomira High School Choir.
It's a hockey Wednesday night here in Middleton as the Capitals are set to face off against the Green Bay Gamblers. Welcome into Bob Suiter's Capital Ice Arena for tonight's matchup between the Capitals and Gamblers here on Flow Hockey and on Caps Radio on YouTube. My name's Drew Steele. I'll be captaining the ship going through your ear ocean all evening long. The Capitals riding a 4-game win streak, return home for a 5-game homestand, including tonight's game against Green Bay, a pair against Sioux Falls, and then Waterloo and Des Moines come to town next weekend. What a weekend it'll be here at Cap Ice, and it all starts with a midweek matchup of the Wisconsin Cheese Cup presented by Klondike Cheese. The Capitals will travel right to left across your Flow Hockey screen, and we're underway here at Bob Suiter's Capital Ice Arena. The Capitals wearing navy trimmed with white and Columbia, as Green Bay left to right wearing white trimmed with black and yellow. Down in the corner, Sam Capel and his fourth line got the start for Madison. We'll go through the lineup as we did on the pregame show on Caps Radio on YouTube. Prior to this, at the first whistle, this one fluttered up through the sky here at Cap Ice. Glove down by Ethan Elias, who tried to backhand it up the wall, but Green Bay starts into the offensive zone. Danilov turns it over, and the Capitals start back the other way. It's O'Donnell cutting towards the middle of the ice, achieves the red line and sends that one down in deep. 40 seconds into period number one. The Capitals and Gamblers all square 0-0. Up that far side, Danilov tried to get things out for the Gamblers, but instead it's Austin Bernovic in the high slot. A shot deflected to the far side wall. Danilov starts up ice for Green Bay. They get things moving forward to Poitras, and that's where Poitras gets tripped up. Two Capital killers there in Danilov and Poitras. We'll get to it throughout the broadcast as we'll touch on the lines quick. It's Hong, Rollers, Bernovic up front, Delaney, Kuzma, Nagel on line 2. Lamb, Rice, and Johnson on line 3. Long, Capel, and O'Donnell on line 4. Michaud, Elias on pair 1. Jamison, Topi pair 2. Stout, Ramsey pair 3. And Barlagi, the extra defenseman for the Capitals. Carson Musser in between the pipes. Green Bay to their first power play of the night. 4th in the league on the man advantage. 42 for 144 on the season. That puts them at 29.2% on the season. A slight difference in the Capitals' favor on the road is this Gambler squad, but they 5 for 20, against this Capital squad on the season on the power play in the 6 matchups between the two sides. They're without one of their players on this first power play unit as Libor Nemec out of the lineup due to suspension. Ryan Humphrey takes his spot as the Capitals clear all the way down 25 seconds into this man advantage on the Toby tripping minor. Up the far side of the ice, Green Bay takes it. It's D'Angelo kind of tussled up there with a player in Sam Rice, but Poitras will carry in. Poitras to Humphrey. Humphrey with a shot that caroms off the glass, but will stay in the zone on the near side where Julian Lutz gets things up to D'Angelo. 5 forwards on this unit for Green Bay, including Blake Beshin, who deflected that one into the corner. Julian Lutz picks back up on the half wall and starts possession, but backhands that one out of the zone. Halfway through this power play for the Gamblers, the Capitals have a chance to change forwards, but the defensemen are going to have to stay out there as Beshin starts up ice the far side. Lutz carries into the offensive zone, stick handles through traffic, sends one towards the goal. The Capitals try to clear, but Poitras will hold on that far side. Poitras is a point-per-game player in 7 games against the Capitals in his career, 6 games with Green Bay and 1 with Sioux City last season, where he was acquired from D'Angelo. Shot, Humphrey deflected it out front. Puck finds its way into the corner. The Capitals unsuccessful on the clear. 30 to go on the power play. Lutz backhands it across. Poitras receives on the far side half wall. Poitras centers. Beshin shot. Lutz kicked away by Musser. Capitals unable to clear once again as they tie things up against the wall with 15 to go on the man advantage. Kuzma skates away with it, and the Capitals start up ice. Kuzma through neutral ice, doesn't have any other Caps with him, but takes possession into the corner and gets the first shot on goal for Madison of the game as Green Bay starts from behind their own goal. Nathan Tobey steps out of the penalty box on the opposite side of the ice, and we're back at 5-on-5, 3 minutes into period number 1. Back beneath the goal line, up the near side wall. Through traffic that time is Lucas Peterson. The puck jumps up into the bench of the Gamblers, and we get a whistle, and we get to take a look at our visitor for the evening, the Green Bay Gamblers. Julian Lutz, Jason Chagabe, and Gino Carcone on line 1. Humphrey, D'Angelo, and Poitras on line 2. Katzen, Russell, and Beshin on the third line for Green Bay. Danilov, Hughes, and Dewar on the fourth line with Tanner Brender, the extra forward for Green Bay this evening. Gallucci, player on pair 1. Peterson, Romaine pair 2. Larson and Harrington on pair 3 with Luke Baker, the extra defenseman for Green Bay. The goaltender tonight for the Madison Capitals, or for the Green Bay Gamblers, is Gavin Moffett. Russell carries into the offensive zone. The former Clarkson Golden Knight backhands that one into the corner. The Capitals pick up possession on the far side half wall, that being Austin Bernovic. Gets things moving to the new Capital, and John Stout gets it moving forward to Rayners Rollers, but offside is James Hong on the opposite side of the ice as we get a whistle. 16:25 to go here in period number 1. 0-0 our score still in this one. Green Bay, second place in the Eastern Conference, 61 points to their credit. Muskegon and Youngstown right behind them, though, at 60 and 59, respectively. The Capitals trying to climb back and kind of inch into that margin and that conversation as well as Nagel carries into the offensive zone. Madison comes in with 50 points on the year as Nagel with a shot from the high slot gets deflected wide by this Green Bay defensive unit as they start up the far side all the way down. That one will go to be a race to it. Colton Jamieson will win that race to the hash marks. As we are 3:53 into period number 1, I feel like we've had a lot of stoppages already in this one. It's the 7th meeting between these two teams this season. 5-1, the advantage in that season series. Green Bay holds that advantage. The Capitals' lone win came in November up at the Resch Center. 3 more matchups between these two teams, including tonight. As Kuzma's second unit out there for Madison, unable to win the drawback as Green Bay snaps it back and gets things moving up the center of the ice. Dewar kicks it to a player in Nathan Tobey, and the Capitals start up the near side wall. Kuzma tries to send that one down in deep, turns it over, and James Dewar starts back the other way for the Gamblers. Tobey picks up behind the gauge, leaves it there for Jamieson. Jamieson to Kuzma. Kuzma has Delaney on the far side coming through neutral ice. Throws on the brakes once he gets to the half wall. Shot deflected by Kuzma and kicked away by Moffett as Green Bay starts up the other way. Nice play by Barloggi. Slowed things down, but Green Bay quick to pounce on it as they chase Barloggi back behind his own goal line, and Danilov will go pick up in the far side corner. Carcone plays to the near side as Barloggi there for the Capitals. Sends it right back up that far side where Diego Johnson can pick up possession for the Caps. Johnson 3 points in his last 2 games, including a 2-game goal streak for the player there, and they call icing on that as the goaltender touched up on the play as a faceoff will come all the way back inside the defensive zone. I believe the linesmen are going to chat that one over. Went across the goal line first is what Christian Johansson, one of the linesmen tonight, will chat as they will take it out all the way back inside the Capitals' offensive zone. Jack Young helped get that call right for the linesman. They explained to head coach and general manager Andy Brandt. Ryan Siegel, one of the referees for this evening, gets the go-ahead. Referees Ryan Siegel, Jack Young, linesman Bryce Spetzer, and Christian Johansson. Face-off on the far side, Shagabe and Rice, the two-team centermen. In the circle on the far side, Shagabe, this top-line centerman, with Carcone and Lutz tonight. Johnson drops back to the point for Michaud, looking for a lane to shoot. Instead, takes it down to the half wall for Johnson. Back to Michaud, deflected just wide of the goal. It'll go to the far side corner where Peterson will pick up for Green Bay. Peterson starts up the near side. Carcone through neutral ice, has it kicked around a bit as Lutz tried to enter the zone. Instead, it'll be cleaned up by Romaine, where Berzinch, or rather that's Carson Musser back there for the Capitals. I say Berzinch, he's the reigning USHL goaltender of the week, and with a 3-game weekend, we'll expect to see both goaltenders for sure for Madison. Shagabe in the high slot, shot blockered into the corner by Musser. Elias kind of upended there for a moment, and it allows Green Bay possession on the far side. Carcone down into the corner. A nice job by Elias to poke that one around, and the Capitals start back the other way. Johnson through neutral ice, just shuffles that one down to the near side corner, where the Capitals chase back after it on the near side wall. Beshin through neutral ice and into the offensive zone, drops to the near side for Russell. Throws on the brakes once he gets to the corner, spins back up top, and a leave there for Player. Poked away, though, by John Stout. The new Capital carries through neutral ice and backhands that one down deep into the offensive zone, where Ronan O'Donnell, the first one to it for either side. Has it tied up in his feet. Capel comes away with it. Stout at the point, far side, Toby. Toby with a shot, kicked into the corner, where the Capitals send one towards the goal. Ronan O'Donnell loses it, but Blake Beshin has some ice for it. Comes up the near side wall as Russell sent into the wall for a moment. Two players get tied up there. Josh Player will skate away with it. Josh Player, I always like to say when we face off against Green Bay, almost like the creative player name on NHL, as he'll send that one down in deep. The alternate captain for Green Bay. Player in his second season with the Gamblers. Up that far side, it rides along the apron for a moment. O'Donnell chips things ahead where Long tried to deflect that one down in deep. 13-19 remains in the first period as Green Bay starts back the other way. Poitras through neutral. Into the offensive, tried to get that one all the way across to Humphrey. Instead, it deflects back to Humphrey at the point, and he'll get it in the corner now thanks to a defenseman. D'Angelo in the corner. Looking for options, takes it behind the goal. 11 points in 17 career games against the Capitals. Into the far side, where a player's taken down, that time in Harrington in his USHL debut. Harrington picks back up. The large body defenseman carries out to neutral ice. That allows a couple of changes for Madison as Green Bay achieves the red line, sends that one back down in deep, where Musser slows things down for his defensive core. Flings it up the near side wall, fed that one back door as Rollers was taken down without the puck coming to him, and now Bernovic into the offensive zone. Rollers slow to get up behind the play, but hops back into the play. Poitras into the offensive zone. Humphrey with near side has a shot that time, did Peterson, but he was unable to get on top of it as Musser will eventually hop on top of a puck that just sat in his crease for a whistle. 12:19 to go, period number one. Scoreless between the Capitals and Gamblers here at Bob Suter's Capital Ice Arena. As I mentioned in the pregame show and at the beginning of the broadcast, first of a 5-game homestand for Madison. Sioux Falls coming to town on Friday and Saturday night. $1 beer night on Friday night. Tickets are very limited for that game. And then on Saturday, it's Stick to Reading night, thanks to our friends at Lake Ridge Bank. Also Star Wars night here at the arena and Scout night as well. Kuzma, high slot, looking for Nagel, a bit too far behind him. Nagel with some speed through the slot. Would have been an excellent chance for Madison. Instead, that one rolls all the way back where Jameson picks up behind the cage of Madison. Nagel through neutral into the offensive, put on his behind by Peterson. Peterson having his name said a lot tonight in the mix, a lot for this Green Bay squad. Hughes in the slot, kicked into the corner by Musser. Elias helped guide it along the way. Nagel pokes it along, and the Capitals try to clear, but Green Bay will hold. Jameson gets possession in the corner, starts up that far side wall, and Nagel backhands it where he thought he had it out of the zone. Hughes will hold once again, though, for Green Bay. Jameson on the near side, finally able to clear the zone as Nagel stretched the zone all the way down in deep. The Capitals go for a wholesale change besides Nagel as he's on that far side wall. I believe he'll go for a change as the Capitals will eventually send in. He gets it forward to Rice, though. Before that, Rice with a shot, and it just kind of muffins into the corner as on the line, Ramsey Hold. Shot that time, comes to the near side. Johnson thought he had a chance for a 3-game goal streak. Instead, Lutz achieves the red line and it'll carry into the offensive zone. Far side, Shagabe trying to find it back to Lutz. Johnson poked it around a bit. Johnson's really found his footing in the league after the first 10 games or so. He's really started to find that he belongs in this league, starts to find his openings, and I think a lot of it has to do with his confidence as he sends one up to the point. Michaud has to jump over his stick out towards neutral ice. 10.5 to go. Period number 1. It'll be icing if it gets there. Sure enough, it does. As the Capitals will have a defensive zone draw here when play resumes. Faceoff will be in the defensive zone on the near side to the left of Musser. Musser, third in the league in goals against average, .276, 10-9-2-2 record to the Sherburne, Minnesota native and Colorado College commit. Towards the slot, the faceoff was won by Green Bay. The Capitals clear up that far side wall. No change will be allowed for Madison as that puck went straight up into the protective netting. As the faceoff will be in the defensive zone. DC Eagle jumping out on the ice. They say no change for the Capitals. DC Eagle is doing his best to get out there and get a body out there for Madison. Barks on Bourbon t-shirt toss coming up here at the media timeout as the faceoff is won back by Green Bay. They hold in at the line near side to Harrington. Just skates that one forward a little too much in his USHL debut. The Capitals shovel that one all the way down where Rasmus Larsson will recover for Green Bay. Larson spins up that far side wall. He'll take it. It'll go off the end while winning the race to it is Green Bay's Blake Beshin in the far side corner. John Stout tried to take the near side. Just came from Minnesota high school hockey. Now a 2-on-1 back the other way. O'Donnell has Long on the near side. Never got to him. Backdoor feed. Aiden Long scores! I think it got too long on the back door. Not for sure, though. Instead, Ronan O'Donnell, goal number 4 of the season. It deflects before it gets to Aiden Long. And the Capitals take a lead early on in this one. 9:57 to go, period number 1. 1-0 our score. As the Capitals strike first in this one. Faceoff will come back to center ice. Ronan O'Donnell hops over the wall, and we're back underway as the Capitals score first in this one. Up the near side, Stout's pass intercepted by Poitras. Poitras sends one towards the goal and scores and evens things quickly. 1-1. Poitras, a Capitals killer. I mentioned it a couple of times throughout the broadcast already tonight. 8 points in 8 games now for Poitras in his second USHL season. The Capitals, just as quickly as they find the scoreboard, find themselves tied at 1 aside. Face-off back at center ice. A nice job by this Green Bay squad to get back on their feet and subside the momentum for Madison. Poitras sends it into the corner. D'Angelo on the far side. Gets possession, fanned on the far side by Humphrey. The OHL veteran takes it to the near side eventually where Hong spins off of a check from Poitras and takes it into the corner and starts up ice for the Capitals. Hong on the near side, sends that one down in deep, avoiding the check that time of Luke Baker and sends it on goal. And a faceoff will come in the offensive zone as we reach our first media timeout here in period number 1. Just north of 9 to go in this first period of play. Let's take a look at our USHL standings. I would say the out-of-town scoreboard typically at this point, but the Capitals and Gamblers, the only game we have in action this evening. Dubuque, of course, leading the Eastern Conference, 70 points, have played just as many games as just about everybody up top. Chicago and Cedar Rapids have played 49, but Dubuque at 48. Green Bay sits behind them, 2 games in hand. Of course, one of those games will be regained here tonight for Green Bay. 61 points for the Gamblers in second. Muskegon in third at 60 points. Youngstown behind them by the points, so that 2 through 4 competing for that bye, that second bye, all real tight there, is all just within 2 points of one another. So points is really important for Green Bay and really everybody here in the Eastern Conference. Of course, there's a battle for fifth place, 5th and 6th, really tight there with Cedar Rapids sitting outside the playoff picture at the moment. 47 points to the Capitals and Steele, 50 and 49. Face-off will be on the near side to the right of goaltender Gavin Moffitt in goal. Adam Guyon, the second-round draft pick of the Chicago Blackhawks, getting a night off for this Gambler squad. Up the far side, Green Bay clears to neutral ice where Colton Jamieson starts up for Madison. Jamieson had a goal on Saturday for this Capital squad in the 5-0 victory over the National Team Development U18s. This U18 team beat Green Bay the next day 8-4, so they still had 8 goals on the weekend. The Capitals just more than happy to keep them to 0, their first shutout for the Capitals team and organization since April of 2022. Kuzma backtracks to Jamieson as the Capitals breakout finally successful there, but right back in it comes as it'll be icing on Green Bay. 8:38 to go, period number 1. 1-1 our score. Goals from Ronan O'Donnell and Ben Poitras. The difference in this one, O'Donnell's 4th of the year, Poitras 16th of the season. The faceoff will be in the offensive zone. Mentioned that Poitras is a point-per-game guy against the Capitals in his career, 8 games, including one with Sioux City, acquired this offseason by the Gamblers. A trio of picks going the Green Bay's way in that trade. Is no icing as this one sent down in deep. It'll be played by Moffitt up that far side wall. Gallucci gets things started forward, and now Russell gets behind the defense on the far side, but the Capitals quick to recover as the former Clarkson player takes it into the corner. Brings it to the near side. Romaine, the intended target, a bit too far behind him. Russell will hold the line, though, and recover his own error in the corner. Blake Beshin on possession. Russell up top, Romaine. Romaine, one of 3 draft picks for this Green Bay squad. Shagabe and Guyon, the other 2. Beshin on the near side half wall. The Capitals will just shovel that one out towards neutral ice as it's recovered there by Caden Harrington. He'll sauce that one over to the far side, and Romaine back to Harrington. 7:45 to go in the period. 1-1 as Lev Katzen carries into the offensive zone. A multi-point game back in November against the Caps as it's taken behind the goal where Charlie Michaud can start up ice. Johnson, near side, Lamb into the offensive zone. Now come the Capitals via Sam Rice. Rice backhands that one towards the slot, looking for Johnson. A nice job by Katzen to slow that one down. Katzen sends it to the near side where no one home, and the Capitals will be able to bring it into the offensive zone thanks to that error. Lamb with a shot, jumps out off the corner wall to Jason Shagabe, who carries down into the corner and starts up that far side wall. Near side, Baker. Into the middle of the ice, into the offensive zone, Julian Lutz represented Germany at the World Junior Championships out front. Tanner Brender scores to give Green Bay their first lead of the game. Brender, goal number 6 of the season, gives the Gamblers their first lead of the night. 2-1, 13 minutes even into period number 1. As you'll see it here, Lutz carries behind the goal. Rather, Syke will throw it out front for Brender. The former Sioux Falls Stampede forward buries that one to give Green Bay their first lead of the night. They'll throw their first unit out there, and Brender will be at the wing on it as it'll take into the far side corner where Barloggi can start up ice. Through neutral now, it's Capel ahead for Long. The Capitals trail for the first time this evening, and really the first time in a couple of games here for Madison. Is through neutral ice now comes Ronan O'Donnell. Top of the far side circle, shot kicked into the corner by Gavin Moffitt. Green Bay sparks a rush back the other way, but Brender and some tired legs send it down in deep where Musser will play it up the near side wall. Long, unable to get a hold of that one as a shot goes wide from Shagabe. Played off the end wall to Gallucci on the far side. He'll go pick up in the corner. Gallucci pickpocketed there by Jamieson. He'll play it off the end wall to the far side. Barloggi takes it into the far side corner and chips out towards neutral where Aiden Long goes around the defense. Long into the offensive zone, has Capel out front, but instead will take the shot himself. It deflects up into the glass as no whistle called there. Long sends one towards the goal. I believe there was a child that screeched so loud that fans thought it was a whistle, and players thought it was a whistle as well. So play is stopped 6:01 to go, period number 1. Face off on the far side to the left of Moffitt in goal. Kuzma, Nagel, Delaney, Michaud, and Elias for Madison. Face off, one to the far side by the Capitals. On possession, there's Delaney. He's tied up against the wall, but Kuzma goes and digs that one out up to the point for Elias. Back into traffic, but gets possession. Nagel in the slot, shot goes wide after deflecting off of a player there. I don't know if Moffitt got a piece of it or what, but either way, Green Bay able to clear out towards neutral ice where Humphrey gets possession for Green Bay. Poked along there for a moment by Nagel, and the Capitals will try to clear out towards neutral, but Humphrey outpowers his way into the corner. Nagel picks up possession, Humphrey right back on it. Humphrey towards the slot, near side, picked up by the Capitals. Humphrey once again. Stick checks a player there for the Capitals, keeping possession alive for a long period of time in the offensive zone for Green Bay. Nagel tries to get things moving forward, but instead D'Angelo will carry into the offensive zone. D'Angelo now to Humphrey in the corner, takes to the near side now, and thought about just powering his way towards the goal, but Elias kind of got in his way there. Those two scrapped back in January when the two teams met, and back the other way comes Madison. Delaney over the red line into the offensive zone. Nagel, far side, Kuzma shot, kicks wide from Moffitt, and the Capitals try to get possession. It goes off of an official as the Capitals were trying to regroup out to the point, and eventually it will be a Capital picking up possession, but it's all the way back inside their defensive zone as Green Bay cleared there. Up that far side wall, the Capitals try to get things moving forward. Bernovic and Rullers on different pages there. This one blockered by Musser, goes wide of the goal as Hong does a nice job to direct the body that time of James Dewar into the corner. Hong plays it to the end wall to Ramsey. The Capitals have some time to get things moving forward. Hong deflected that time by Will Hughes. Send it right back into the defensive zone. The Capitals playing on their heels here in this first period late. They scored the first goal, but Green Bay with 2 unanswered to this point to take a 2-1 lead. Goals from Brender and Poitras. 2 players acquired this offseason by the Gamblers via trade. Gamblers were active on the trade market as the Capitals start back the other way. Bernovic through neutral ice has Hong with him on the near side. Into the offensive zone, near side, Rullers shot, ramps up the stick of Rasmus Larson up and on a play for a whistle. 3:48 to go, period number 1. 2-1 our score as an offensive zone draw upcoming for Madison. Rullers a bit frustrated as he had a shot that could have been a better chance than it turned out to be. Face-off of coming on the near side to the right of goaltender Gavin Moffitt here in a moment. Right, Rice and Russell to go at it in the circle. As a face-off won back by Russell. Player plays it off the end wall to the far side. Katzen backtracks, and Sam Rice will go and scamper to pick up possession for Madison. Tried to play it off the end wall. Eventually it'll be played off the sidewall by Green Bay as they intercepted that Rice pass. It'll carry into the offensive zone now in the stick of Katzen. The tender drops there for Russell, a 2007-born player and a 2003-born player. The difference, hockey in this league, 16 to 20. Big age gap, but nice to have some experience with Katzen, and Katzen, of course, having a great season to this point as well. 28 points in 41 games here in his rookie campaign as the Harvard commit. Russell into the offensive zone. Katzen on the far side. Plays back Gallucci. Gallucci towards the goal. Russell picks up beneath the goal line. Russell throws on the brakes in the corner. Capel starts up ice as the Gamblers were in the midst of a change. Elias will pick up possession for Madison. Send that one down in deep, and the Caps will go to the forecheck. Long on the near side, plays to Capel in the corner. Capel backtracks that one, tried to feed it back to Long. And eventually will go pick up possession on the half wall, and Long had it jump over his stick. O'Donnell at neutral ice will settle things down before Michaud sends it in on Moffitt, who sticks to the defenseman of Peterson. Peterson has his stick lifted by O'Donnell, intercepted that time by Kuzma, but he just throws it a little too far in front of himself. Would have been a great chance for the Naperville, Illinois native to bring himself within one of the Capitals' career goals record at the Tier 1 level. As O'Donnell chips that one down into the offensive zone, he'll go for a change as Kuzma applies some forecheck. Kuzma ties a player up, but that same player and Lucas Peterson chips that one out of the zone, and the Capitals on their heels start back the other way. Delaney, far side, looking for Nagel, steps off the wall, but Chagabe got a stick in the way with 2 minutes to go in the period. Green Bay regroups and will start up ice up the near side. Intercepted by Delaney. Nice job by this Capital squad to regain some momentum and carry into the offensive zone. Kuzma down to the corner, Delaney. Delaney back to Kuzma in the corner. Kuzma tried to thread the needle to Nagel, instead back the other way. Come the Gamblers on the stick of Chris Romaine. Romaine in the far side corner. Barloghi pokes it along. There for the Caps is Kuzma as Ramsey steps aside of a check from Ryan Humphrey. Ramsey through neutral ice to the far side into the offensive zone, trying to find Nagel. Instead, it'll be Green Bay regrouping and starting up that far side wall. Poitras turned over. Hong into the offensive zone. 1:15 to go in the period. Hong with a shot that just ramps over the goal, pops off the window, and back where it's gloved down by Moffitt for a whistle. 1:12 to go in the first period. 2-1 our score in favor of the Green Bay Gamblers. Coming up at intermission, we'll have your goal scoring summary. We'll also have a nice replay collection thanks to our crew in the back. Our Rush Media crew always doing a great job for us here on Flow Hockey. Rollers, Hong, and Bernovic out there for Madison. Face-off one, backs down, will play down into the corner. Chasing after it's Hong, and it'll be Toby on the far side collecting possession for the Capitals. Toby's tied up for a moment, comes to the near side where Gallucci backhands it up the wall, but Hong there for Madison. Rollers in the corner, looking for options, battles off of a check. Now Bernovic goes and collects on the half wall. Bernovic spins off of one, leaves there for Hong. Hong spins off of another and takes it down into the corner where Rollers tried to outwit Josh Player that time. Instead, Player will send it all the way down. It threads the needle, icing upcoming on Green Bay. 39.5 to go in the first period. 2-1 our score as the Capitals with an offensive zone draw on the near side here in a moment. Looked like they were going to keep the first line out there, but instead the Caps will throw the second unit of Delaney, Kuz, and Nagel out there. Bottom line out there for Green Bay, so this is a chance. Andy Brandt liked to match lines. The face-off one back by Hughes. They send it off the window on the far side, out towards neutral where Elias will just bat that one down. They achieve the red line and carry into the offensive zone to the Gamblers. 30 seconds to go in the period. The Capitals regain possession and start back the other way. Nagel has some speed but has Danilov right on his tail and takes it into the corner on the far side. Danilov spins off of it as Hughes knocks a body to the surface and clears out towards neutral ice. 15 to go in the period as Delaney picks up on his own blue line. Kuzma carries into the offensive zone, sends one towards the goal, and it goes over the goal. And Delaney picks up, shot deflected out into the slot. Elias thought about going towards it with 3 seconds to go in the period. I think Dewar will be more than happy to just chip that one down. Dewar sends a little punch towards Elias' way, but nothing will come from it there. And Green Bay carries a 2-1 lead into intermission number one. Goals in the period from O'Donnell for Madison, and then Poitras and Brender for Green Bay. Let's take a look at what happened here in the period. You'll see early on, O'Donnell backhands one out front. It just goes through the 5-hole of Moffitt to give Madison that early lead. Charlie Russell with the own goal there. Back on the other end, though, quickly after it, Poitras evened us at one aside. Goal number 16 of the year for Poitras, and then Lutz sets this one up for Brender. Beats Musser blocker side, and that's where we are after 20 minutes of play. We'll be back with your intermission report on Caps Radio on YouTube. For our folks on Flow Hockey, we'll see you in the second. Caps trail 2-1. Welcome back to Bob Suiter's Capital Ice Arena. Period number 1 in the book here at Cap Ice as the Capitals trail 2-1 to the visiting Green Bay Gamblers here in this one. It's time for your scoring summary presented by MadCapsHockey.com. 10:03 into period number 1. It was Ronan O'Donnell, 4th of the season for O'Donnell. Gave Madison a 1-0 lead early on in this one. But 7 seconds later, it was Ben Poitras, 16th of the season, unassisted for Poitras, giving Green Bay life and tying things at 1 aside. 3 minutes later, Tanner Brender, 6th of the season from Lutz and Baker, gave Green Bay their first lead of the evening, and they take that lead into intermission number 1, where we sit now. Shots on goal through 1 period, 11-9 in favor of Madison. Leading the way in shots on goal is Andrew Kuzma. For Madison, on the other side, Julian Lutz with a pair of shots, as well as William Hughes. We'll be back with more intermission coverage right after this. You're listening to Capitals Hockey on the Capitals Radio Network on Caps Radio on YouTube. Welcome back into the broadcast booth here at Bob Suiter's Capital Ice Arena, period number 2, right around the corner here. But let's get into the remaining score of the period. Of course, the scoring summary, but we also want to get to all the other details throughout period number 1. Nathan Toby took the lone penalty of the period, 2 minutes for tripping to the Lantana, Texas native. Only his 5th penalty of the season, so not something you see commonly for that player there for Madison. We have a bunch of pluses and a couple of minuses, though, for Madison as well. O'Donnell and Capel get the pluses on their side for Madison, but down the line, a ton of minuses. And I know I mentioned Lucas Peterson being a very good player for Green Bay in period number 1. He was a +2 in the period. Luke Baker also a +2 for the Gamblers. Puck drop of period number 2 right around the corner. We'll have your replay and everything for you coming up at the 1 minute mark of the period. So stick right in on Flow Hockey, and if you're listening on Caps Radio on YouTube, you can flip right over to Flow Hockey when you get a chance. Back here at Bob Suiter's Capital Ice Arena, period number 2, the period of the long change. The two teams will flip sides here in the second period. Caps wearing navy left to right, Green Bay wearing white right to left. Let's take a look at how we got to our 2-1 score here in this one. Early on, it was Ronan O'Donnell with a backhand off of Charlie Russell out front. You'll see it here on the overhead view. Russell kicks it into his own goal, gives Madison an early 1-0 lead, but just 11 seconds later, Poitras, 16th of the season, Lutz feeds that one out front for Brender 3 minutes later to give Green Bay a 2-1 lead as we enter period number 2 here at Bob Suiter's Capital Ice Arena. Drew Steele on the call here this evening. Thanks for joining me here in the broadcast booth. As we're back underway, face-off one back. Galucci sends it all the way down in deep. 5 seconds into the period, the Capitals start back from behind their own goal line. Musser feeds it up that far side wall, looking for Aiden Long. That time I thought Long had the goal for Madison, but instead it comes out towards neutral ice where Galucci can send it right back in. Musser up that far side wall. Jamison plays to the near side. Toby, now O'Donnell towards the middle of the ice. And through neutral comes Sam Capel. Ahead for Long. Long centers it that time. Back for Capel. A nice job with the stick by player. Up top, it comes to Jamison. Off the wall, and it bounces very actively to Danilov, who carries into the offensive zone. Danilov drops back for player that time towards the slot. It goes into the corner. Will Hughes on possession as the Capitals try to take over and start back the other way. At neutral ice, player gloves it down. Long plays back. That time for Stout, who will ring it in off the end wall. And it's kicked into the corner there by Moffitt, where it's picked up. Romaine can start up ice to the far side. Ramsey chases after it out front. A chance goes wide for Green Bay as Danilov, or rather that's Ryan Humphrey on the near side half wall picking up possession for Green Bay. Rollers backtracks to Hong. Hong through neutral now, looking for options near side. Bernovic carries into the offensive zone on the near side half wall, looking to backhand that one out front, but instead has to spin back. Feeds it to the point. Stout holds in with the glove. Backhands it into the corner. He'll go for a change as James Hong chases after it on the near side. Pokes after it a little bit. Humphrey tries to get it out. The Capitals hold for a brief moment, but now D'Angelo and Humphrey on a rush. Humphrey on the near side. Michaud trying to power him to the outside. Instead, he gets a shot off that's sent into the corner by Rullers and company for Madison, and the Capitals start back the other way. Hong circles back, regroups for a moment for Madison before getting things forward for Rullers. Now Bernovic has Rullers out front. Shot scored! Rainers Rullers, goal number 7 of the season. Ties us up at 2 aside. A minute 51 into the second period of play. Rainers Rullers on the one-timer from Bernovic, who now brings himself within 1 point of the Tier 1 season point record for Madison. As Rollers one times that one home, you see it from the angle there. A nice job by Madison to transition and find something off of the transition play to tie things at 2-aside. Just less than 2 minutes into period number 1. When the Capitals trail after one this season, 6-7-0-0, 4-2-0-0 at home, so they're better when they trail after one this season. Is a high stick called on Green Bay. Faceoff will be in the offensive zone for Madison. I believe there should be a secondary assist to James Hong, if I'm not mistaken, on that one. When Green Bay leads after one this season, 15-4-2-0, 8-1-0-0 on the road this season. But they're all square now, are the two teams, and a faceoff will be on the far side in the offensive zone for Madison. Moffitt looks to his right. Delaney with a quick shot. Rebound sits there. Moffitt looks a bit shaky early on in period number 2. Kuzma feeds it out front. Delaney a bit too far behind him as Green Bay counters back the other way. Lutz through neutral into the offensive zone now. On the near side, the Capitals chip things out towards neutral ice. Harrington turns it over, and Nagel carries into the offensive zone. But Harrington slow to recover once again for Green Bay. Harrington in his USHL debut, remember, has it tied up in his feet. Kuzma to the slot for Nagel. Rebound sits there for a moment. Kicked into the corner by Larson. Larson ties up Kuzma, and coming away with it for a moment was Nagel. Powering his way towards the goal, and on the far side, Carcone on possession takes it into the corner. To his side work there is Kuzma and Chagabay in the corner work for the two respective sides. Michaud has that one kicked off of his stick. The Capitals hold on that far side. Lamb comes towards the net. Down into the corner, Kuzma, shot from a sharp angle, goes wide of the goal and into the window. And back the other way comes Jason Chagabay and the team wearing yellow and black. Lamb through neutral. Carries into the offensive zone, and eventually he'll dump it into the near side corner. Blake Beschen there for Green Bay. Plays it to the far side where Jamison will play it for Madison. Rings around to the near side and all the way out of the zone. Nathan Toby chases back inside the defensive zone for the Capitals, and he'll start up the near side wall. Through neutral into the offensive, it's now Diego Johnson. Shot goes wide. Goals in his last 2 games. 3 goals in his last 5, but unable to find the back of the net. There is Gallucci into the offensive zone for Green Bay. Drop back there, a 2-on-1. Rice and Johnson. Johnson on the near side, tried to feed it over to Rice, didn't get any air on that, and Luke Baker had his stick on the ice waiting for it, and now Katzen back for Green Bay. A shot deflected into the glass, wide of the goal. Beschen up the far side wall, and Madison back the other way. Peterson will send it right back in, and the Capitals will have to go back behind their own goal before starting up ice up the near side. Barloggi has to counter back the far side as Ramsey starts through neutral ice now to the far side for Johnson. Unable to find it on the initial bounce, but eventually he'll send that one down in deep. He'll go for a change as Capel in this 4th line out there for Madison. Dewar, near side now Brender. Brender into the offensive zone. Onside are the Gamblers. It's a shot kicked into the corner by Barloggi, picked up by Capel, and the Caps once again out towards neutral ice. Peterson will backhand it up the near side wall. Brender will carry into the offensive zone, so no offside on the play. As on the far side, O'Donnell plays the body for Madison. Rings around the near side. Elias chases after it. Icing up coming on Green Bay. If it gets there, catches up on an edge before it gets all the way behind the goal line, and the Capitals start up the near side wall as it'll play ping pong back and forth, goal line to goal line. Michaud sent it where Peterson picked up on his own goal line. A nice job by Michaud to get in the middle of that backdoor feed for Green Bay. The Gamblers send it back in. 5 minutes, 10 seconds into period number 2. Capitals have tied it up here in this second period. Rainers Rollers with goal number 7 of the season, 15th point of the year for Rainers as well. Near side, Hong will carry into the offensive zone. Hong now with a 6-game point streak. As it goes to the far side, chasing after it is Hong once again. He'll ring it around the wall. It'll come to the near side. Brnovic loses an edge. Rollers chases after it. Brnovic captures possession for Madison. Brnovic on the half wall, battling there with a pair of Gamblers. Comes to the near side. Toby unable to hold, and now a 2-on-1 back the other way. Humphrey, shot, stopped by Musser. Poitras had his stick taken away. Doesn't like it. As he looks for a call, doesn't get it. as a faceoff will be in the defensive zone, upcoming to the right of Carson Musser in goal. It'll be this Lutz unit out there for Green Bay. Lutz, Shagabe, and Carcone. Shagabe had his high school, the Minnesota State High School Hockey Tournament, lost in double overtime in the state championship game. He won Mr. Hockey, so I think that probably made him feel a little bit better. His team won 8-1 earlier this morning in the state quarterfinals. Up the near side wall, Nagel to Delaney, and through neutral ice come the Capitals. Into the offensive zone now, Delaney throws on the brakes, tried to feed it to the slot looking for Kuzma. Instead it goes to the far side corner where Michaud sends things into the near side, backhanded out towards neutral ice where Elias will settle things down. Kuzma pestered along the way, Delaney into the offensive zone on the near side, sends a shot towards the goal, pounces up high in the sky. Romaine gloves it down into the corner. Shagabe will go pick up and settle things down for this Gambler squad as Romaine at the top of his defensive circles will carry towards the offensive zone. Kuzma picks a pocket and into the offensive zone come the Caps. A nice job, but that one pops up into the bench directly. Offensive zone draw should come for Madison. Sure enough, that's the case. 6:45 to go in the second. 2-2 our score. Face-off will be on the near side to the left of Gavin Moffitt in goal. Moffitt, over his last 7 games, 5-1, 0-1. Only 17 goals allowed in that time, so just barely over 2 goals against average in those 7 games, and 4 of them came in a relief mop-up duty on Sunday. A shot stopped by Moffitt, sits out front. Bryce with a shot, caroms, bounces along the way, and eventually finds the glove of Gavin Moffitt for a whistle. Moffitt really found his footing in December when Adam Gajan went to the World Junior Championships for the second year to represent Slovakia. Moffitt stepped in, and I think they made Gajan win his job back, and it's more of a split now at this point after Moffitt's performance during that stretch. Gajan, as of late, has been a bit shaky as well as the Capitals back the other way. Stout into the offensive zone, a shot towards goal, stopped by the glove of Moffitt, who holds on for a whistle. Gajan 4-4, 2-0 in his last 11 appearances. 41 goals against in that time, so you can see the difference between the two there. Although Gajan, very successful in his career against Madison, 6-1, 0-0 all time. 4-1 this season. Moffitt's one appearance against Madison came back in January, the day after this rescheduled game was supposed to happen on January 13th. It's a 1-0 victory for the Gamblers. They scored their lone goal on the power play. As this one at neutral ice, Jamison will ring it back into the offensive zone. O'Donnell on the near side plays to Long, plays it off the end wall. It bounces heavy off that wall out front for a moment. O'Donnell unable to chase that one down, though, as it comes to the near side. Back behind the goal once again as Luke Baker picks up for Green Bay. Through neutral ice, it's Danilov into the offensive zone. Danilov tries to beat Toby to the outside, but is forced to spin back. Danilov takes it around the zone, circles around himself, takes it into the far side corner, now beneath the goal and completes the full 360 around the offensive zone of the Gamblers before turning it over, and the Capitals start back the other way. Capel's helmet comes off. He'll send that one down in deep. Rasmus Larson plays to the far side, and into the offensive zone comes James Dewar. Dewar out for a big chunk of the season as Musser holds on. Dewar didn't play from 11-22, that's November 22nd, all the way to February 9th this season. But he's had some success against the Capitals in the past. 3 points to his name, the UMass commit. Nice to see everyone back healthy. Of course, the Capitals have a couple injury problems to their name at the moment as well. 41 seconds of this media timeout still to go before play will resume, as the two teams gather just outside their bench. For the Caps, looks like they'll be going with their top unit along with Ramsey and Stout. Stout acquired via trade in that Will Felicio deal back in early January, completed his high school season, and then comes and joins this Madison squad. Although his high school season's done, he's still up for a couple awards in Minnesota. Mr. Hockey Reed Larson Award the best senior player in Minnesota for the Mr. Hockey, best senior defenseman for that Reed Larson award. All Metro team in Minnesota high school as well. So this is a player who's had some success at the high school level. In his second USHL game, did play one game with Waterloo last season. Faceoff will be on the far side as it's tied up for a moment, and Christian Johansson, one of the linesmen for tonight's contest, throws his arm up and says, "Hold him up, boys." Faceoff eventually won back by the Caps. Stout has it taken away, but Stout battles back for it and forces it out towards neutral ice. A nice job by the rookie defenseman. Carries in offside to the Gamblers. Let's do another draw just outside the offensive zone of the Gamblers. Same 5 players on both teams remain. Rollers and D'Angelo, the 2-team centermen, as the faceoff won forward by the Capitals as James Hong will try to backhand that one down and deep. Instead, Humphrey carries into the offensive zone for the Gamblers. Humphrey takes to the far side, brings it into the corner, trying to power his way out front. Instead, it's back the other way on the stick of Rayner's Rollers, a bit too far in front of James Hong. That'll allow Caden Harrington to pick up for Green Bay, and his USHL debuts look shaky at points, but looks like he's finally calmed into his zone, although icing upcoming. No, they say. Looked like it would have been. Instead, the Capitals on possession deep inside their own zone. Up the middle of the ice now. Bernovic has Rollers once again. Bernovic sends one towards the goal. Moffitt kicks it away. Hong now in the high slot sends one towards the goal. Kicked into the corner once again by Moffitt. Moffitt, after a shaky start to this period, allowing the Rollers goal, lost a couple of rebounds. Looking like he's back to his typical form as he carries down to the corner. Does Humphrey, and out towards neutral ice. The Capitals force. Shagabe will hold there for a moment before sending to the far side. Humphrey will carry in. Humphrey in between his legs, takes it into the corner, holds the stick that time of Charlie Michaud, and into the corner now. Brender turns it over to Rollers, held in at the line on that far side by player, spins off of a James Hong check. High slot, far side shot. Goes into the corner once again. The Capitals will start up ice as James Hong, I believe, will just achieve the red line and send that one down and deep. The Capitals will go get a couple of changes here as Green Bay's Julian Lutz loses his footing. The Capitals try to take over on possession. Instead, Lutz picks it back up. Shagabe, far side, Brender, shot! Kicked into the corner by Musser. Shagabe chases after it as well as Lutz. The two dig for it in the corner for Green Bay. The Capitals have a couple of bodies down there as well. As the Capitals were in the midst of a change as that rush was starting up ice. Michaud loses his footing. Near side, Green Bay takes it up the wall. Held on to there by Shagabe. Tried to center it out front for Brender. Instead, back the other way comes Madison. Nagel has a footing on Galucci. Has Kuzma out front. Tried to toe drag around, but player takes his dive at the puck and kicks it into the corner. As now Nagel in the corner, feeds it out front. Delaney sits there, plays it off the back that time. Moffitt, I believe, was his intended target. But Julian Lutz on the end of a long shift will just carry into the offensive zone at that far side. Madison able to catch Green Bay on a change if they hurry. Not quick enough, though, as Green Bay back the other way. Katzen into the offensive zone. Near side, plays it off the end wall, far side, now Beshin. Beshin up to the point now, shot from Romaine, blocked along the way by Kuzma. Kuzma gets it out of the zone. Larson will be able to recover, though, for Green Bay and send it right back in. 9:10 to go, period number 2. 2-2 our score. A Rayner's Rollers tally the lone mark on the scoreboard in period number 2. Toby towards the slot. Kuzma now ahead for Nagel and through neutral ice. Come Madison. Lamb behind the defense. Brendan Lamb with a shot, and it just bounces off the left shoulder going wide. As Gavin Moffitt got just enough on that one. Katzen back the other way for Green Bay. Katzen, shot goes wide. Beshin on the far side, leaves there for Romaine. Holds in, but now the Caps can start back the other way. A nice job by Katzen to keep possession for Green Bay. Beshin beneath the goal line. Up top now Romaine. Romaine looking for a shooting lane, unable to find one. Takes it to the far side, now Katzen. Katzen sends one towards the goal, but Sean Ramsey intercepts, and Madison back the other way. Johnson, near side Rice. Rice looking for options, chips it into the corner. Johnson back up top, looking for Toby. Just on different pages, rather, that was Barlagi as it goes all the way back inside the defensive zone where Sean Ramsey picks up for Madison. He'll step out to the left to Carson Musser, start up the near side as Aiden Long bodied off the puck there, but tries to get possession back for the Caps and does just that for a brief moment before Hughes starts up ice. Hughes, the pair of shorthanded goals in a game earlier this season against Madison, tries to stuff that one short side against Musser. Instead, the Capitals back the other way. Capel on a 3-on-2 has Long and O'Donnell with him. A shot from Capel jumps up into the sky here at Cap Ice and eventually gloved down by Moffitt. Long and Dewar getting after it after the whistle as the Caps hold on for a whistle. Or rather, Moffitt does. Face-off will be in the offensive zone for Madison here in a moment. 7:39 to go, period number 2. 2-2 our score. O'Donnell got us started on the score column tonight. The Capitals score first this season, 12-11, 0-0, compared to 10-8, 4-2, 1 unable to. And this is a great time to remind you that our broadcast tonight is brought to you by Floor & Decor. Come explore our unmatched selection of high-quality products, all at everyday low prices, and see how easy creating the space to match your taste can be. Discover your new Floor & Decor, now open in Monona and online at flooranddecor.com. Face off on the near side to the left of Moffitt in goal. And it's won back by the Capitals, but there for it to recover is Ryan Humphrey. Humphrey up that far side wall into the offensive zone. Poitras carries there. Stout bullies him along the way and sends him into the wall. Played to the corner now. Humphrey out front. Sits there for a moment. D'Angelo in the high slot. Shot kicked away by James Hong into the corner, but held in at the line by Harrington. A shot deflects up into the air. Musser thinks he had it in his pads. Instead, this one comes out towards neutral ice. Sent right back in by Harrington of the Gamblers. Musser plays to the far side. Stout will start up the middle of the ice. Now intercepted by Poitras. Poitras in the high slot. A shot stopped by Musser. No rebound is allowed, and a whistle is blown. 13 minutes even into period number 2. Stouts looked good at points in this game, but that's the second time that Poitras has baited him into a pass that he probably wishes he had back. Poitras finished the first one. That time Musser stands tall to keep us all square at 2 aside. Face off on the near side. Kuzma's unit out there for Madison. Lutz in the top unit for Green Bay. Carconi in the near side takes it up to the point for a moment before just sending it into the corner where no one was home. And Nagel and company for Madison can start back the other way before Lutz intercepts it. Keeps that one in for Green Bay. Madison slowly starting back the other way before, once again, back and forth. Green Bay, Madison just tied up at neutral ice. Lutz will carry into the offensive zone, and once again, play tied up. It's been a tight contest in this one. Tough to establish much zone time with 6.5 to go in the second. Madison gets things up towards neutral where Larson and Nagel can be tied up. Shagabe to player, and now Larson jumps up into the play offensively. Larson loses possession, and Madison tried to get that one out. It'll squeak out of the zone. Shagabe drops back, and Green Bay will regroup just inside their own defensive blue line. Carconi into the offensive zone via a dump in as Musser will go play in the corner. Elias backtracks to the far side, Michaud, and the Caps start up, bites up that far side wall. Johnson deflects that one down into the offensive zone for a moment before Lamb picks up possession. Lamb with a shot. Scored! Brendan Lamb! Goal number 6 of the season for the Battle Creek, Michigan native gives Madison the 3-2 lead. Choppy play at both sides leads to Brendan Lamb rifling one past the glove side of Gavin Moffitt to give Madison the 3-2 lead once again. Second all-time in games played for the Capitals franchise. Brendan Lamb in his 165 game, goal number 23 of his career, point number 49. On that far side, the two players get tied up for a moment as Lamb plays it back to the point for Jamison. Jamison with a shot deflected into the glove of Moffitt, who holds on for a whistle. 5:33 to go in the second. 165th game played for Brendan Lamb. He's within 1 point of 50 on his career now. With a face-off on the far side. Face off on the far side to the right of Moffitt in goal. One back by Green Bay as they'll start up ice up the near side wall, and they'll take it to the far as Gallucci activates himself up into the play. Backdoor feed, sits there. Gallucci couldn't finish it backdoor as he'll relieve Katzen, who was filling in for him at the point. Gallucci thought about sending one towards the goal, instead sends one wide. It goes short side off of Russell. Russell had a goal go in off him earlier in the game, but it was for the Capitals, and now a 2-on-1. Long has O'Donnell with him, a shot. Rebound sits there. Capel chases after it. O'Donnell fans on it, and it still sits there before Green Bay eventually escapes to the corner. Charlie Russell starts up the near side to Gallucci, and Madison once again takes over and will carry into the offensive zone. Capel backhands one towards the slot. Eventually Brnovik there. Shot goes over the goal and jumps out of the zone where Sean Ramsey settles down. Into the offensive, James Hong loses possession. Blake Beshin will just chip down in the other way. Musser will leave there for the defenseman and start up ice. Brnovik into the offensive zone, James Hong. Hong throws on the brakes on the half wall down to Brnovik in the corner. Brnovik takes it to the near side, Barlagi. Barlagi sends one towards the goal and eventually finds its way into the glove of Gavin Moffitt, who holds on for a whistle. 4:16 to go in the second. The Capitals with a whole bunch of momentum. Face off on the near side. Eventually one back to the point. Barlagi rips it around to the far side. Brnovik on possession. Brnovik spins back up towards the point, sends one towards the goal, kicked into the corner. James Hong on possession for Madison. Hong tied up there for a moment. The Capitals trying to get possession. Instead, Caden Harrington kicks it up to himself up the near side wall where Brender will just send that one all the way down. It'll be icing if it gets there, but it won't, as Sean Ramsey will pick up at the face-off dot. 3:45, period number 2. Caps lead 3-2, and into the offensive zone now comes Madison as this one deflects up into the air, and Josh Player plays to that far side. James Dewar starts up ice for Green Bay. Poked along by Lutz, but held onto for a moment by the linesman as it hit him on the shin pad. Offside are the Gamblers. 3:31 to go in the second. Face jump just outside the defensive zone for Madison. Had a chance to match lines, and they'll eventually match defensive pairs. Face-off is won back by Green Bay, but a nice job by Max Nagel to get a hold of it and into the offensive zone. Now comes Chris Delaney. Top of the near side circle, shot, rebound comes back to him. Sits out front, Kuzma unable to deflect that one home. As in the corner, Rasmus Larson starts up the near side wall where Elias eventually plays it into the corner. Larson thought about going behind the cage, unable to though as Kuzma was in the path there, and eventually the Capitals unable to do anything. Back the other way come Green Bay before Kuzma intercepts. Far side Delaney, backhands it to Kuzma, tried to feed it backdoor for Nagel instead. Delaney with a shot, rebound sits there, Max Nagel scores! Goal number 17 of the season for the West St. Paul, Minnesota native. Extends the Capitals' lead to 4-2. You see Delaney's shot, sits there, Nagel takes one hack at it, takes a second one. Gavin Moffitt's left pad, unable to keep that one out of the goal. The Colgate commit picks up goal number 26 of his career, point number 39 of his career, and the Capitals now have a 2-goal lead with 2:57 to go in the second period. Face-off one back by Green Bay. They send that one down into the offensive zone where Nathan Toby can settle things down and start up ice. Sam Rice starts up the far side and surveys the field of play before bringing it to the near side. Johnson pokes it around Gallucci as Romaine chases back after it, feeds it to Gallucci on the near side, who loses an edge on the near side wall. Lamb trying to get possession, eventually will, sends one towards the goal, off the glove, wide of Moffitt that time, and Johnson beneath the goal line tried to feed it back to Rice. A whole bunch of opportunities here for Madison towards the end of period number 2. They lead by 2, 3 unanswered for the Capitals. Jamison in the slot, scored! Colton Jamison, goal number 3 of the season, extends the lead to 5-2. Back-to-back games with goals for Jamison as well. The Capitals red hot towards the end of the period. Jamison realizes he's got a lane he likes, beats him a low blocker. Caps lead 5-2. Fourth of his career. Jamison in his 55th USHL game extends the Capitals' lead to 5-2. Faceoff comes back to center ice. A 4-goal second period for Madison has him in the driver's seat, 5-2, as Caden Harrington starts up ice for Green Bay. Harrington circles back, player on the near side, enters the offensive zone on Lev Katzen, plays it off the end wall. Beshin awaits for it on the far side, plays to the near side, Russell. Player at the point, plays into the corner. The Capitals pick up possession and start back the other way. Aiden Long against Caden Harrington. Long on the far side, shot trickles wide. Capel there for Madison is Long, picks up, feeds it out front, looking for O'Donnell. O'Donnell searching for his second of the night. Instead it comes to the near side wall as it's sent beneath the goal line. Josh Player picks up and Charlie Russell starts up ice as Green Bay looking to find something here at the end of period number 2. They trail 5-2 in this one. Goals from just about every Capital in the lineup. Not actually, but feels like it. And another one! Raiders Rollers! Second of the game. That one bounced over the stick that time of Gavin Moffitt. You have to wonder if his night's going to be done. Sure enough, it is. Adam Guyon comes into the game for Green Bay. Rollers just chipped this one in on goal. Sure, it caught a lip and bounced and knuckled past the glove side of Moffitt. But Gavin Moffitt can take a seat for the rest of the night, I believe, if Adam Guyon's grabbing his gear. Sure enough, that's the case. Gavin Moffitt can hit the showers a bit early here in this one as Adam Guyon will come into the game, or rather, they're going to wait. Guyon had his equipment being put on at the moment. Moffitt's going to stay in as the Capitals lead 6-2. Face-off won back by the Capitals. It's taken all the way back where Musser can pick up possession and leave there for Barlagi. Jamison to the middle of the ice there and deflected through neutral ice. Rollers will carry into the offensive zone. Bernovic with a shot, backdoor feed, sits out front, Rollers shot, and eventually Moffitt hops on top of it. Did Bernovic get a piece of that one? Did Bernovic pass that to Rainers Rollers? And we have a fight now. Baker and Barlagi going at it. Baker and Barlagi exchanging punches on the far side. Baker gives him a right. Barlagi tries to recover. Barlagi doesn't have his bucket, but the two going at it. Barlagi with the right. It's Baker with the left. A southpaw move as Barlagi tries to lift the jersey over his head. Barlagi another one with the right. Back and forth they go as the arm of Baker out of his jersey now. The two going back and forth at it. Green Bay looking for some momentum. Barlagi looking to show him whose house it is. One right, a second. Baker comes over the top as Barlagi still goes at it. A nice tussle here at Cap Ice as they'll both be done for the rest of period number 2. In the majority of the third, Caps lead 6-2. And they'll be heading to the power play here late in the period as well. Will Hughes to the box. I believe a rough will be called on the play. Guyon still remains on the bench for Green Bay. I think his equipment was not ready, is why he wasn't put in right away for Moffitt after the ground ball knuckled over the goaltender from Darien, Connecticut. Offensive zone draw, rather it'll come outside the zone, it appears. Check that it will be an offensive zone draw. I thought it was going to come outside of the zone. Instead, the power play unit can head out onto the ice. Johnson, Rollers, Hong, Bernovic, and Ramsey. If Bernovic had an assist on that last Rainers Rollers goal, they take the draw outside the zone. That was the right call. With the fight, it brings it out. If Bernovic had an assist on that last Rainers Rollers goal, Bernovic ties the single-season Tier 1 record for Madison and Luke Middlestead at 55 points on the year. I believe he fed that one to Rollers, as the Capitals will be on the power play. If they're unable to score in the first minute 05 of this man advantage, it'll hang over into period number 3. Musser leaves there for Ramsey, who picks up possession, and he'll start up the near side to Brnovic. Brnovic chips into the offensive zone. Diego Johnson on possession. Tried to backtrack that time. Eventually it will get to Ramsey at the point. Far side, Hong takes it on the half wall. Out front, chance for a moment. Now Hong back up top, Ramsey. Near side, Brnovic. Brnovic looking for options, sends one towards the goal. Deflected just wide by Rollers. Looking for a hat trick here this evening as Green Bay will eventually clear. It won't go the length of the ice. A nice job by Ramsey to keep possession moving forward for Madison. Brnovic sends one towards the middle. Rollers backdoor shot. That time from Hong, deflected along the way. Katzen and company will start up ice for Green Bay with 15 to go in the period. Madison takes back over and he'll carry into the offensive zone. Near side, Johnson. Johnson sends one towards the goal. Brnovic with a chance on the backhand, but kicked wide. Johnson out front. Hong shot. Sits there for a moment. Brnovic looking for a shooting lane, sends one wide, and it'll retire period number 2. Katzen goes after Rollers on the far side as the two get tied up at the end of period number 2. Madison with a 6-2 lead, and a 54-second power play remains in period number 3 for the Capitals, as the referee and the officials trying to separate everybody on that far side. That'll do it for our coverage here in period number 2. Let's take a look at how we got here. Tons of goals in the period. Brnovic to Rollers started the party 2 minutes in. Eventually, Brendan Lamb picked up goal number 6 of the season. It was Max Nagel extending the lead to 5-2, and then Jameson picks up one of his own. That was the 5-2 goal, and then Rollers just chips that one in. That goal right there for the Capitals, I believe, ties the single season record in points for Brnovic, as that one trickled past Gavin Moffitt. A tussle at the end of the period, and that's where we sit. Guyon is warming up at the end of the period, so that is probably something you'll see for the last 20 minutes of regulation as the Capitals lead 6-2. That'll do it for our second period coverage. For those on Flow Hockey, we'll see you in the third. Caps Radio, we'll see you in a bit on the intermission report presented by Floor and Decor. Caps lead 6-2. Back here at Bob Suter's Capital Ice Arena, it's time to take a look at your goal scoring summary. If you're sitting at home, kick your feet up. We're going to be here a while after that second period. Ronan O'Donnell got us started 10:03 into period number 1, unassisted on that one. It was Poitras tying things up 11 seconds later to even things at one aside. Brender picks up his 6th of the season for Green Bay at the 13-minute mark of the period to give Green Bay a 2-1 lead at intermission number 1. They were quiet on the scoreboard in period number 2. We're in intermission number 2. Rollers picked up goal number 7 of the season from Bernovic and Hong. Lamb, number 6 of the season from Johnson. Nagel, number 17 of the season from Delaney and Kuzma. Jameson unassisted, and Rollers unassisted at the moment. I think that one might be reviewed a little bit just to see actually if that one was unassisted or not. But either way, if it wasn't assisted, Bernovic still sits 1 point away from the single-season Tier 1 record for Madison at 54. 55 is the record. Luke Middlestat in the 21-22 season. If an assist is given, Bernovic will then have tied that single-season record held by Middlestat, and we'll be on record watch here in period number 3. But that'll be something we'll keep an eye on here as we'll send it to break. When we return, we'll have more for you here at Cap Ice. You're listening to Capitals Hockey on the Capitals Radio Network on Caps Radio on YouTube. Back here at Bob Suter's Capital Ice Arena, the Capitals on top 6-2, and they'll have 54 seconds of a power play to start here in the third period of play. Let's see how we got there. It was an eventful second period. Early on in the period, it's Rainers Rollers with goal number 1 of the night, and then it was Brendan Lamb, Max Nagel on the rebound here of the Delaney shot. Colton Jamieson for the second straight game circles around, slams that one home. And then Rainers Rollers decides to dump the puck and knuckles past Gavin Moffitt. As you'll see the angle there, just knuckles over the glove side. A fight at the end as Barloggy and Luke Baker will start in the penalty box on the far side. And that's where we have our 6-2 score at the moment. 5 second period goals for Madison. And Austin Bernovic now 1 goal away from the Capital team record, a Tier 1 team record of 56 points. He's tied with Luke Middlestat in 21-22 with 55. Face-off won back by the Capitals so cleanly it goes all the way back. And the first power play unit here in period number 2 goes to work. Kuzma down beneath the goal line. O'Malley pokes it around. Something to note, Gavin Moffitt has been pulled in favor of Adam Guyon. The second straight game for Green Bay where the starting goaltender has not finished the game as this one ramps up and out of play for a whistle. 31 seconds to go on the power play for Madison. 19:36 to go in the third. 6-2 our score in favor of the Caps. The face-off will be on the near side to the right of Adam Guyon in goal. Guyon 19-8-3-1 on the season. A 3.37 goals against and an 8.98 save percentage. The Slovakian netminder spent last season with Chippewa in the NAHL. Had a stint in Green Bay last season as well. Went 5-1-0-0 with the Gamblers last season in 6 games, a 9.06 and a 2.48. Made his name known at the U.S., or rather at the World Junior Championships as this one sent down the length of the ice. 15 to go here on the power play as the power play units will start to change out for one another. And the Capitals, with 8 seconds to go on the man advantage, will start up ice. Just about a minute into period number 1. The penalty will expire, and stepping out of the box on the far side is Will Hughes, all the way down, icing on the Gamblers. So a face-off will be in the offensive zone for Madison here in a moment. Onto the ice comes the third line of Lamb, Johnson, and Rice. All 4 lines getting in on the action tonight for Madison. Rollers from the first unit, Nagel from the second, Lamb from the third, and O'Donnell from the fourth line. O'Donnell scored in period number 1 for Madison. Elias, near side stout, sends one towards the goal, blocked along the way by Dewar. Holding his hand there, I think that's what it got him, as Danilov will start back into his own defensive zone to try to get some time and space for himself. Romaine, far side into the offensive zone. Poitras carries in. It's poked into the corner there. Poitras goes and picks up in the corner and just stick lifts the player off of him in Elias. Poitras in the high slot sends one towards the goal. Ramps up over the net. Plays off the glass and out front where Larson settles it down. Goes wide on the Poitras shot once again. And Johnson settling things down for Madison. Will drop back for a brief moment to his defenseman, and up the near side wall, Stout sends it for Rice. Rice far side now. Johnson sends that one all the way in. He'll be the lone Capital to stay on the ice at least for a brief moment. Guyon plays it to the far side as Humphrey starts up ice. Humphrey through neutral now. Shagabe achieves the red line and sends that one down in deep. Musser will hold there for a moment. Play to Jamieson up the near side, and Jamieson takes it behind the cage wide and up that far side wall. Jamieson starts up that wall and sits there for a moment. Is a nice job by Green Bay to halt the rush for a second before the Capitals start right back into the offensive zone. Bernovic circles around for a moment and drops back there for Toby. Up that far side wall, Bernovic plays off the wall there for a moment as Bernovic once again will carry into the offensive zone. Tried to find Hong on the near side, and into the offensive now comes Lutz. Lutz on the near side, holds on for a moment and takes it beneath the goal line. Shagabe sends it towards the front of the goal and wide. Is on the far side, Carconi plays it to the near side where Lutz can once again regain possession for Green Bay before the Capitals attempt to clear on Hong. Instead, player sends one towards the goal. Rollers up that far side wall out of the zone as Harrington will settle things down, send it right back in. Musser tries to settle it down. Carconi on the far side sends one towards the goal. Musser got back in his cage just in time. Jamison will settle things down for a brief moment before the Caps start back up ice and deflect that one down in deep. Chasing back after it on possession is Peterson. Peterson started +2 for the game. Probably don't want to look at many Green Bay players plus minuses after period number 2. Is up that far side. Ramsey chipped where Long can continue for Madison. Long, his pass ahead looking for O'Donnell, was gloved down by a Gambler and sent down in deep where Musser played with the stick. Stout had his pocket picked that time by Green Bay. Out front, a backhand shot from Katzen goes wide. Gallucci in the corner. Out front, Russell fans on his shot. Comes to the point. Peterson on goal. And Musser holds for a whistle. 16:21 to go in the third. 6-2 the score in favor of Madison as Katzen and O'Donnell get after one another. As Russell with some choice words for Ronan O'Donnell after Katzen got into a little tussle with him there. Face-off will be on the near side to the left of Musser in goal. Caps lead by 4. It's one back. Michaud tried to backtrack that time and eventually will. A big hit that time, and I believe Tanner Brender will be heading to the box for 5, if not more, as Michaud slow to get up to his feet. I believe a major penalty probably upcoming here. Let's show it on replay. Just got him square in the numbers. I could see a world where Tanner Brender's day's done. They only gave him 2, though, I believe, from the signal on that far side. Boy, I definitely thought that could have been a 5, if not a 5 in a game. Hit him square in the back, into the wall awkwardly. Michaud chatting with athletic trainer Alyssa Brummett as the Capitals on the power play for the second time tonight. Face-off one back by Madison up top. It goes for Ramsey. Ramsey sends it towards the goal. It goes wide. Johnson there sits it out front for a moment. Far side, Brnovic settles things down. Brnovic on the far side up top now Ramsey. Ramsey takes down the wall. Brnovic back on possession. Shot sits out front. Hong now on it. Hong with a shot blockered away by Guyon. Hong up top Ramsey. Ramsey looking for options. Sends it to Hong on the near side. Hong circles around at the top of the near side circle. Eventually sends it down low for Johnson. Back to Hong. Ramsey. Brnovic, far side, looking for options. Towards the net, deflected, sits out front. Ramsey back on it. Hong down into the corner now. Johnson back to Hong on the half wall. Hong up top. Ramsey, far side. Brnovic towards the near side, looking for Hong, unable to find him. Eventually, Hong will regain possession down low. Johnson looking for options. Tried to send it out front for Rollers. Instead, will take it to the far side for Brnovic. Halfway through this man advantage. The Capitals with possession in the offensive zone the whole time. Brnovic with a shot towards the goal, sits out front. Brnovic chases after the rebound. Brnovic looking for options near side. It comes for Hong. And down into the corner, the Caps try to send it. Eventually it will make its way there, but it'll be Green Bay with a chance to clear. Sure enough, they take advantage of it. 45 to go on the Brender minor penalty. Musser holds on to possession as Charlie Russell rides the wave of Charlie Michaud. Nice to see that. Michaud is out there, and the Capitals start up the near side wall into the offensive zone. Kuzma takes it to the far. Long, near side to Delaney. Delaney looking for options. Has it in the corner up top, Michaud. Michaud back to Delaney. Delaney with the shot that time, and he scores! Chris Delaney! Goal number 10 of the season. Extends Madison's lead to 7-2. You'll see it top of the near side. Aiden Long out front doing a heck of a job screening Guyon. Charlie Michaud draws the penalty, picks up the primary assist, and Madison now leads by 5. Cue Frontier all night long here at Bob Suter's Capitol Ice Arena. Aiden Long. That's how they teach it. You sit in front of the goaltender, you jump out of the way when the puck's coming. Guyon didn't see it coming until it was past him in the twine behind him. As Caden Harrington starts up ice. Harrington up that far side wall, intercepted. Aiden Long on possession for a moment for Madison. As O'Donnell sends it into the near side. Player has it jump over his stick. And up the near side wall, down into the offensive zone. Green Bay played it where Jamison picks up for Madison. Toby up that far side, out towards neutral ice. Green Bay will have to touch up as they send it right back in. towards the middle of the ice. Harrington settles that one down, intercepts a pass, and carries into the offensive zone. Harrington towards the middle, just too much sauce on it. And back the other way comes Madison. Out of the zone, not so fast. Green Bay forces him back into the defensive zone for a moment. Guyon will go out to play that one in the far side corner just to get a puck touch in. Guyon, of course, didn't play the first 40 minutes of this one. Moffitt started the game for Green Bay. Lamb on the near side, half wall. Down into the corner now, Sam Rice. Rice shoved up against the wall. Digging that one out's Will Hughes. Up the near side, Stout will hold for Madison. Off the end wall, at least for a moment. Instead, it hits Will Hughes, and back the other way comes Green Bay. A 3-on-2 if they hurry, but a nice job by the Madison back check to chase back after it. Doesn't matter anyway. Offside are the Gamblers. 13-14 to go in the third. 7-2 our score. Faceoff will come outside the defensive zone for Madison, opposite the Capitals bench.
Fifth quarter winners, we have Owen and Scott Moab. Portillo's winner, it's Jimmy Rambo. Pivot Lines winner.
Rollers in the top unit out there for Madison. Second line for Green Bay. As the faceoff tied up and won back by Green Bay. Poitras plays it off the glass in the corner, and the Capitals goaltender Carson Musser does a nice job to start things back the other way. Bernovic ahead now, Rollers. Rollers has Hong with him, but eventually will circle around. Elias, one-time shot, jumps over the goal. Michaud plays it into the corner where Bernovic there for Madison. Bernovic looking for options. Rollers looking for the hat trick, goes wide. As up the near side wall through neutral ice. Harrington on goal that time. Musser will play it into his glove, and he'll hold on for a whistle. 12:42 to go in the third. 7-2 our score. Caps in the lead. 15 goals allowed over their last two games for Green Bay. An 8-4 loss on Sunday to the National Team Development Program's U18s. And now a 7 spot to the Capitals with still 12:42 to go in this one. Hold him up, boys. Warning given. The face-off, one back. Stout plays it to Ramsey and up the near side wall. Ramsey plays to Delaney and through neutral ice. The Capitals tried to get things moving forward. A nice job by Green Bay to just stutter that growth of the rush, as eventually Nagel will pick up possession. Delaney had Stout on the near side, and now it's a foot race back. Beshin has a 2-on-1. He'll send it back door. Russell a bit too far in front of it as Stout picks up for Madison. As back the other way, Beshin sends it into the offensive zone. Russell chases after it for Green Bay. Towards the middle that time, sits out front. Beshin goes to dig for it as Stout lifts his stick in the corner. Stout kind of gets roughed up for a moment before Russell picks up in the far side corner. Russell takes it behind the goal, up the near side wall. Instead, he'll feed it to the slot for Katzen. Katzen has it poked off of his stick to the near side wall. Beshin now in the corner, just trying to get momentum back for this Gambler squad as it poked off of his stick by Ramsey. Ramsey's stick went flying, but he'll retrieve it now. Stout in the corner, plays it over to the near side. Unable to hold in as Harrington has just rolled along the wall. As I know they did some work on those Zamboni doors today, so the typical bounce that would normally come from that near side wall, not going to be there as frequent. Is up the near side, Romaine just inside the offensive half of the ice will get possession for Green Bay. Far side, Carconi leaves there for Lutz. Lutz circles around, tried to feed out front for Shagabe, but Colton Jamieson will just slowly take things into the corner and now start up ice with some pace. Down in, guy on gloves, he'll hold. 11:07 to go, period number 3. 7-2 our score in favor of the Madison Capitals. Let's take a look at our goal scoring summary, thanks to our friends at Floor and Decor. Floor and Decor, come explore unmatched selection of high quality products, all at everyday low prices, and see how easy creating the space to match your taste can be. Discover your new Floor and Decor, now open in Monona and online at flooranddecor.com. O'Donnell, 4th of the season in period number 1. Poitras and Brender gave Green Bay a 2-1 lead entering the first intermission. Rollers, Lamb, Nagel, Jamieson, Rollers in the second period gave Madison a 6-2 advantage. Leaving the second period, Chris Delaney added his 10th of the season on the power play to give Madison the 7-2 lead that they have now, as an offensive zone draw will come now for the Capitals. Capel, O'Donnell, Long, Jamison, Toby for Madison. Fourth unit out there for Green Bay as well. Face-off, tied up for a moment. Taken into the corner by Aiden Long, and the two bodies get tied up there. It's Galucci and Long, as now O'Donnell plays it out front, has it in his feet, and he'll take it to the far side corner, playing the body the whole way and up the far side. Danilov will take it to the middle of the ice, and Brender chips it down in deep. Brender scored what was the go-ahead goal, but since then it's 6 unanswered for Madison, including 5 in the second period to give the Caps the lead that they currently maintain at 7-2. Long on the near side will play that one forward. Capel puts some pressure on Will Hughes, and through neutral now comes Brender. The Capitals are waiting to finish a change as Elias will start up the middle of the ice now. Elias backhands to the far side. Offside would the Capitals have been, but Green Bay sends it right back to neutral where John Stout can settle things down. Up that far side wall, deflected there along the way by Johnson. Johnson ahead, leaves there for himself actually, spins off of a check. That's where D'Angelo, the captain for this Gambler squad, takes over. Penalty upcoming. Diego Johnson to the box as Peterson and Lamb will push and shove after the whistle. Diego Johnson will be heading to the box. 2 minutes for tripping, sending Green Bay to their second power play of the night. Johansson and Fetzer quick to break up Peterson and Lamb. You'll see it here. Johnson just gets his butt end of his stick in the body and yanks the body of Galucci down. That'll send you to the box 10 times out of 10, and it sends Green Bay to their second power play of the night. 0 for 1 on the man advantage. Our Green Bay on the season, 5 for 21 against Madison, including that first power play back in period number 1. Face-off will be on the near side to the left of Musser in goal. That penalty for the Capitals came just 55 seconds into the first. Nathan Toby for tripping. This time it's Diego Johnson for the same offense. 2 minutes put on the score clock. Johnson in the penalty box. Hold him up, boys. A warning given to Green Bay. Poitras, Beshin, Lutz, D'Angelo, and Humphrey for Green Bay on this first power play unit without one of their normal players in Libor Nemec. Nemec out 2 games, cross-checking suspension. Caps clear right away on the penalty kill. 10 seconds in, Green Bay starts from behind their own goal. 5 forwards on this first group, as I mentioned earlier on. The captain, D'Angelo, will occupy that top position that a defenseman typically does, and now James Hong goes into the offensive zone, has a breakaway. Hong with a shot, and he scores! James Hong gets in on the action tonight. Short-handed, 3rd short-handed goal of the year, 15th of the season for Hong. On the breakaway, beats Guyon, blocker side, and the Capitals lead 8-2. 9:37 to go in the third. 7 unanswered for Madison now. Goal will be announced here in the arena. James Hong unassisted. Shagabe in the second unit will carry into the offensive zone for Green Bay. It's Shagabe, Russell, Carcone, Romaine, and Katzen for Green Bay. Hong has that one. Now it's a 2-on-1. Long has Rice on the far side. Long, backdoor, Rice scores! 9-2, Caps lead. 2 shorthanded goals for Madison. Sam Rice, goal number 7 of the season. Not going to stop that one too many times. Rice had so much speed that the Capitals are able to slip that one by. And now 8 unanswered. 2 shorthanded goals in the game, a power play goal, and 6 at even strength have Madison in the lead at 9-2. And we're only 51 seconds into this kill, and the Caps have scored 2 goals. Toby will send this one down. The typical thing to do on the PK. Something I was going to bring up after the Hong goal. The PWHL is doing something pretty interesting. If you score shorthanded, you let the player out of the penalty box on the far side. O'Donnell thought he got a stick up high. thought it deserved a penalty, but won't gather one as 40 seconds remain on the Diego Johnson minor penalty. Player through neutral ice will settle things down. 8:30 to go in period number 3. Caps lead 9-2. This one deflects into the far side. Elias will try to send it up that far side wall. He'll send it up there, but it'll be held in at the line. Max Nagel kind of fanned on the second attempt to get things out of the zone. And now numbers back the other way. Shorthanded once again for Madison. But Green Bay subsides the pressure, and player will take to Hughes in the slot. Hughes towards the middle, looking for options. Musser pokes into the corner. Nagel up the near side now. Stout, 3 to go on the kill. The Caps will send it down the length of the ice as Diego Johnson steps out. The Capitals back at full strength. 2 for 2 on the kill tonight are Madison. Ramsey up that far side, gives it right to a Green Bay player. Brender backdoor feed Carcone, unable to slam that one home. Peterson takes it into the corner. Kuzma holds him up there. Ramsey chases after it for Madison. Another turnover as the Capitals dig for it. It's Michaud just trying to get that one out on the back end, but it's held in by Peterson. A shot goes wide. Far side, Johnson has a player behind the defense. Nagel chases after it. Guyon goes as well. Guyon beats him to it, and Green Bay will carry into the offensive zone, but Madison scores twice shorthanded there. 2 for 2 on the kill tonight are Madison, in 2 shorthanded goals. Takes the total from 3 on the season to 5 on the year, and that'll bring him up the standings a little bit in that category in the league this season. James Hong with 3 shorthanded goals on the year. The Caps will be back on their heels. Hong is now in a tie for the league lead with 3 shorthanded goals on the year after that shorty. Is on the far side. Madison tries to carry out of the zone, and eventually Brendan Lamb will be able to carry into the offensive zone. Had Danilov on his heels. Delaney far side, Rice. Shot. Scored! Sam Rice, second of the night. A 10-piece for Madison. Sam Rice, 8th goal of the season, extends the Madison lead to 10-2. Too bad the Wisconsin Cheese Cup isn't decided on aggregate. 8-goal lead for the Caps. Green Bay has secured the Wisconsin Cheese Cup by Klondike Cheese. But I think we should start a petition here in Middleton to get this thing on aggregate. Caps would be right in it at this point. Is up that far side, the Caps on possession. Bernovic ahead for Rollers, rolled off of his stick and back the other way. Into the offensive zone, Danilov sends one towards the goal. 18 goals over the last 2 games given up by this Green Bay squad. They pulled Moffitt after 2 periods. Guyon, he's a heck of a goaltender, but he hasn't done much better in period number 3. 6:28 remains in the third, 10-2 Caps lead. We might need to play on Wednesday more often. That might be the solution here. 6 p.m. puck drops on Wednesdays. Caps have an 8-goal differential this season. Only happened once, but makes you think, makes you wonder what the signs are saying. Up that far side, held in at the line by Larson. Romaine on the near side sends it down into the corner where James Dewar and Nathan Toby go to battle behind the goal line. Toby up against the wall. Hughes will take it up the far side. Hughes takes it back into the corner, back up top, back into the corner. Now Dewar on possession for Green Bay. To a side work in the corner. Katzen comes away with it. Katzen looks to feed it to Romaine, and they'll jump over his stick out towards neutral ice where Larson starts things back forward for Green Bay. Rollers has his outreach stick beaten that time by Hughes. Back beneath the goal line on the near side. The Capitals try to get things out of the zone. Now Toby leaves there for Rollers. Rollers backhands that one up the far side for Bernovic. Bernovic starts through neutral, has a player behind him he didn't see coming, sends one down in deep. Does Bernovic, as he'll stay on the ice and eventually go for a change here, I'd have to imagine. Up the far side, Bernovic tried to intercept a pass. 5:24 to go, period number 3. I thought the biggest storyline coming into the third was that Bernovic was going to have a chance to tie the record for points in a season Tier 1-wise for Madison. That could still happen, don't get me wrong, but 4 third-period goals has Madison with 10 goals on the night. Carrying into the offensive zone, Brender chips it down into the corner. Elias up that far side wall as Long chips it out, and now through neutral ice, Capel has O'Donnell with him. Capella on the far side sends one towards the goal, kicked into the corner by Guyon. Near side into the offensive zone. Near side Gallucci. Penalty upcoming. Madison to the penalty box for the trip. John Stout finding his way to the score sheet for the first time. Tripping the call. Face chop on the near side to the left of Muster in goal. Face off on the near side. Madison to the kill once again. Madison kind of liked not having all 5 bodies on the ice the last time. 2 for 2 on the kill. 2 shorties. Rice and Long, or rather Hong. Long had an assist on Rice's goal. Player up top, far side, Peterson. Peterson, Katzen on the far side, half wall, looking for options. Feeds it back up top, Peterson. Peterson, far side, Katzen. Katzen looking for options, shot. Rebound sits there for player, goes wide. Far side, Katzen will take over on possession. Down in the corner now, Hughes. Sent up into the wall by Ramsey. To his side work. The Caps trying to take over on possession and kill some time off as Michaud on the near side sends up into the wall. O'Donnell up the near side, tries to clear the zone, but instead Peterson will hold. Peterson over stick handled that time, but eventually got it to player shot. Glove save by Musser, who holds on for a whistle. Face off on the near side to the left of Musser upcoming. 10-2 our score. We have our research department at the moment trying to find out when the last time the Capitals scored 10 in a game was. The face-off, one back to the line for Harrington, far side. Baker looking for options now for Green Bay up top. Tried to send it that time for Harrington, and now Hong on the break once again. Hong rips one towards the goal, blocked along the way by Harrington, and sent into the corner where they'll eventually pick back up and start back the other way, do the Gamblers. Through neutral ice and into the offensive zone. Brender drops back. Harrington almost had his pass intercepted. Baker backdoor feed for Brender, too much. As the Capitals on the near side take over on possession, Hong forces it back out towards neutral ice. And into the offensive zone once again comes Green Bay. Far side, a stick lost of Harrington. Basically even strength at the moment. A shot block sent wide on the rebound. Hong tries to send that one the length of the ice, but it'll be tied up against the wall. Eventually Jamison will skate away with possession. He'll have some time to kill here. That one sent down the length of the ice by the Caps. Green Bay still with 5 seconds on the power play. As the Caps back at full strength. We'll have the puck beneath the goal line. Barlagi sends a body to the surface. And down in the corner, Madison still just trying to kill some time off. 2:26 to go. I guess you might not want to kill all of it off, though. You might want to go score again if you're the Caps. Kuzma, shot, deflected into the far side corner, up and out of play for a whistle. Faceoff will be just outside the offensive zone. Rather, they do keep it inside the zone for Madison. Currently looking through the history of the Madison Capitals. And then another whistle. Tonight is the very first time since the Capitals' return in the fall of 2014 that they've put up double digits on the scoreboard. This is a scoring record for Madison in a game. 10 goals and still a couple minutes left Up the far side, Katzen through neutral ice and into the offensive zone comes D'Angelo. Since the return, of course, could have scored the 10 goals as a shot and a goal comes from Carcone. Green Bay looked like they were about to celebrate, and then I think they realized they were still down by 7. They made their way back to center ice. Under 2 to go in the third. Caps lead now 10-3. Not too many times you can give up a goal and still be ahead by 7, but Caps have built that lead up tonight where they're able to. And down in deep into the offensive zone, the Caps chase after it. Stout pokes it along, but Dewar will take over there for Green Bay. Dewar towards the front of the net. The Caps try to clear up the near side now as Lamb will settle things down. Through neutral now. Lamb near side, chasing after it is Rice up the near side wall. Stout will take over at neutral with a minute and a half to go here in period number 3. Caps up 10-3 in this one. A record amount of goals in a game for the Capitals in Tier 1 history. We'll have to go dig some more following the game to see if the Madison Capitals, the first iteration, scored 10 at any point. A nice job by Larson to body O'Donnell into the corner. 1 minute remains, period number 3. Green Bay into the offensive zone. Carcone takes there for a moment as the Capitals chase after it. Body's just tied up right in front of the Capitals bench. As time just ticking down here at Cap Ice. Harrington sends that one down in on goal, but it'll be stopped there by Barloggy before. Caps back at home Friday night, a dollar beer night presented by Coors Light. This one hits the rafters here at Cap Ice. 9.3 seconds remain in the third. Back here Friday night. The Caps facing off against Sioux Falls in a Friday-Saturday series. Saturday stick to reading night presented by Lake Ridge Bank. Scout night also, as well as Star Wars night on Saturday. Should be a great night here at Cap Ice. I don't know if it'll compare to this one, though. The Caps, 1 point, trailed 2-1, 9 unanswered goals. And the Capitals take home a 10-3 victory. A franchise record 10-goal game for Madison. Let's go through who scored for Madison in this one. O'Donnell, Rullers, Lamb, Nagel, Jamison, Rullers, Delaney, Hong, Rice, and Rice once again as the Capitals take a 10-3 victory away from Green Bay in this one. We'll get the 3 stars of the game here in a couple of moments, but you can't ask for much more than what you got here this evening if you're a part of the attendance here. As the team salutes at center ice. Rolling through all the goals here. Nagel, eventually Jamison once again for Madison. This is how you knew the bounces were going the Caps' way tonight. Rullers just with a dump in goes in. Delaney, power play. Hong, penalty kill. Shorty. Rice with a shorty. Rice again a couple of moments later. This one at even strength. Gives Madison a 10-3 victory. Franchise record 10 goals in a game. And the Capitals back at home on Friday and Saturday night. Thanks for joining us here on the Capitals Radio Network and Flow Hockey for our crew in the back room. My name's Drew Steele. Thanks for joining me. Caps win 10-3.